everybody take a seat. There's room for everyone.
But there's seats there.
There's seats in between.
I know the issues with your technology, so it's all about ITAR violations.
There's room for everyone.
Are there 2 seats in front or one?
There's a couple seats in the middle right here. Lots of seats over there.
Here's a seat right there. Jurgen, there's a seat. There's another seat. There's a seat over there. Okay. All right. So, my audio friends tell me don't do this. And they tell me that's how they do it. Don't do this. Okay, so welcome to the V-Room. V-Room stands for Virtual Room. And before we start tonight's demonstration, let me just explain what we have here. So these are tiled displays. They're running the Sage middleware, scalable adaptive graphics environment developed at the University of Illinois Chicago, EVL, Electronic Visualization Labs. Each one of these tiled displays is a 1080p display, 2 megapixels. There's 8 this way and 4 that way, 32 times 2, 64 megapixel display operating as a arbitrarily sized desktop. Same thing over there, except I guess there's 3 sessions in this configuration as well. So it's subdivided into 3 different sessions. This one over here is actually touch panel and also has on the top speaker arrays for directionalized audio, which will get demonstrated not today, but tomorrow at the 10 o'clock break. This room also has 4K cameras, 4K displays. This you saw earlier in the network. This was a 4K display being pushed from a Sony projector upstairs. This one is a 4K display being pushed with a JVC projector rear projection. There's video conferencing. We're actually going to use 4K video conferencing on the fly between here and a remote place. I'll explain in a minute. But in addition, there's HD pan-tilt zoom cameras and a Cisco telepresence, a little telepresence system in here. This room is intended to serve as a test bed for prototyping next generation collaboration, tactical operations, and information display and analysis applications. So most collaboration systems are video conferencing and asynchronous file transfer today. But sometimes the media that you're working with is the center of the collaboration, not the people-to-people communication. So you want to establish a human relationship, but then you both want to look at the media or listen to the media at the same time. The units that you're seeing here, you'll notice that a lot of them have little cases on the bottom and a little pillar. Right? These are Optoportables invented here at Cal IT2. Tom DeFonte and Greg Daw have designed them, and they're basically, they fold, the wings fold back, and the little hydraulic motor, well, that's a little hydraulic lift, lowers them down into the cases, and then they button up and can be wheeled out of the room into a truck, but most importantly through a standard door. So they're meant to be movable. You wouldn't really call them portable because it takes, they got big handles on them to lift, but they can be moved. And we're going to talk here about collaboration, but certainly one of the applications that we have thought about ever since the March 11th tsunami in Japan is could this kind of technology be utilized for disaster response and humanitarian assistance? Whether that's probably not the first minutes or even the first day, because what we've been hearing from people who do this professionally is that first responders work with pencil and paper in their fingers, right? They have to assume they have nothing, right? But a few hours or a few days later, help starts to arrive, and how do you organize and brief those people who come in to help? They often, as we heard earlier, they're coming from multiple agencies or multiple countries. And if you look at the pictures after the earthquake or after the Fukushima Daiichi or in Haiti, you see, or even a large forest fire, you invariably see people with little pieces of paper taped up to the wall. Sometimes they're big maps taped up to the wall, and a group of people standing around trying to listen to what's happening and what should I do next and what's doing. A lot of this information is going to be graphical, whether it's still photos, satellite photos, aerial photography, or people sending in stuff from their iPhones and their Androids, or their maps coming from GIS systems, or some of the stuff that Eric does with John Graham, which GIS data fusion. How do you present that for a group? And so we just heard about disaster recovery, and I just want to point out that if you think you know how to use this stuff, please tell us, because we think that might be a good approach. And I'm not going to take your question, right? Because we got people waiting on the other side. Later, I'd be happy to talk to you at great length. All right. So, having said that, you just saw pictures of the disaster in Japan and the recovery from Japan. We have colleagues, long time colleagues in Synagrid and in OnVector, and personal friends at Keio University in Japan. And they started a student-driven project called The Growing Documentary, which came from the students who wanted to do something to capture the memory of what happened in the tsunami in March of last year. And as it turns out, our friend and colleague Naohisa Ota is from the Tohoku area and went to university in Sendai. And he said, let's support the students. And so I think that it's a wonderful idea that we saw some of this at Synagrid in December, but they've been continuously working on this to improve it. And we have been able to foster a relationship between the students at Keio University and students here at UCSD to work on this collaboration and to be able to show us today in the next few minutes how a room like this can be used for collaboration to make media and to work together over great distance. So with that, I'll turn it over to Naohisa Ota, who he'll drive the show. So Naohisa, you can hear me okay, I hope? Okay, then the show is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lauren, for your very kind introduction. Hello to everyone. Oh, I can see Jeff. So, good evening to all people. OnVector people, oh, there are many. Oh, good to see you. So, I'm at the Hiyoshi campus of Keio University. We are about 20-minute ride on a train from Shibuya in the central Tokyo. So we are transmitting this through the 4K transmission systems, and also we are connecting to Brew with a Sage system. Okay, so as Lauren introduced, the growing documentary concept was actually inspired by the Great East Japan earthquake and tsunami. And the student really wanted to produce a 4K documentary covering the story of real people, local people, but actually it was very difficult to do it right after the earthquake. So many media went into that area, and sometimes they interrupted or disturbed local people. So, and also we didn't have much budget as usual, almost zero budget for this kind of student production. So we came up with the idea of the growing documentary. So it's a kind of never-ending storytelling platform based on the computer and network. So we challenged it, and the first iteration was made. The name of the documentary is Lenses and Landscape. Maybe you will see or you have already watched it. And we are still challenging to explore how we can use the CSCW such as SAGE and 4K technology environment for this kind of creative collaboration. And thanks to the Tracy and Todd, maybe they will come up to the podium now. And we started second iteration. And also, I would like to thank NTT-AT people that they loaned the NTT-AT the SAGE system here. So thank you very much for their kind support. And now I'd like to ask Tracy and Todd to talk about why and how you initiated this second iteration of the growing documentary with us. Hi Tracy, please
Hi,
start.
Ota Sensei. It's very good to see you again.
We see you too.
So Todd and I were actually fortunate enough to go to Cinegrid at TIFF in Tokyo last year. We actually have photos on the wall. We saw the premiere of Lenses and Landscapes, and we were able to meet the people behind the project, and we visited the labs at KMD. Cinegrid in December last year, we spoke with Ota Sensei and some of the other people from KMD who came here for the conference, and we did a demonstration at that time too, and spoke about how we could actually create a long-term collaboration. So on the 31st of January, 4 short weeks ago, we pulled together some visual arts students from UCSD with the fabulously hard-working graduate students from KMD, and we began a new iteration of Growing Documentary. Today we're going to show you our work in progress. Thanks, Tom. But on behalf of the collaboration, there's some organizations I'd like to thank, which include NTT, Pacific Interface, UCSD, CaliT2, KMD, and Circa for their support. I'd also quickly like to introduce the students from the UCSD end and ask them to kind of take their positions. We have Josh and Monica. They'll be working on the big wall today. We have Nick, who will be in charge of the touch screen, and we'll have William, who's he's controlling the 4K camera as well as working on the front wall.
And they're all nervous, so give them a round.
I'd also like to point out we have another student, Brian, who's also a collaborator, and he's actually working on documentation. So he's up the back right now, but you'll see him floating around. So thank you, Brian. Now I'd like to pass to Todd quickly, and he's going to talk a little bit about how we've used the setup of Room for this particular collaboration.
Thank you. So actually Lauren did a fantastic job at covering this kind of description of the technical capabilities of this space. I think the only little pieces I guess I would add is that while I think that there's a huge potential here. Obviously, bi-directional 4K telepresence is fantastic. In reality, you have to be flexible with this, and I think that's going to be demonstrated here. So besides just the sort of the very highest level of technologies that we've had access to, throughout the whole process, we've taken advantage of a whole lot of social media that will be described. We've also, gone from every sort of different type of video teleconferencing system, from the highest of the bidirectional 4K down to the uncompressed HD, to the compressed HD, and even Skype at times. So it's really about, doing whatever it takes to get the job done when you have such a small amount of time. We've been sharing media and a whole lot of other kind of sites to exchange things, as well as over the high-speed networks and low-speed networks. So they're going to talk a lot more about that. So maybe we can actually pass it back to Ota Sensei, who will introduce more of the team on your side.
Sure. So I'd like to introduce our moderator at KOSI, Jack.
Hi everyone. I think I met some people back in December at Cinegrid and maybe at Cinegrid at TIFF last October. Very nice to see you. My name is Janak. I was going to say, don't mistake me for George Clooney, but 4K doesn't lie, so, okay. Now going on. Today we're going to talk a little bit about, oh, sorry, I'm supposed to look at the camera. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how Sage can be used, and we're going to demonstrate that using the Sage wall. On our side, we only have one OptiPortable setup, and on the various walls at UCSD. So why do we choose to use Sage? Well, I think it's been covered thoroughly by Lauren as well as Todd and Ota Sensei. One of the biggest reasons is that it's really what you see is what you get. So we can really see the light, we can see it in its full, we can see the video, the pictures, and even the sounds, we can hear them as they're meant to be heard. One of the other reasons that we choose to use Sage, the Scalable Adaptive Graphics Environment, which I think you may have already heard about or you may not have heard about, you can ask Luke, he knows a lot more about this, is the fact that we can share our assets back and forth quite easily over the network, which you're going to see during the demo. And one of the reasons, the biggest reason that we do like to use Sage is that we can collaborate at the same time. There are tools that exist right now, however, real-time collaboration is really difficult. We find that with Sage, we can cut down on a lot of time and frustration in the fact because we can do everything while we're looking at the assets together. That's one of the big reasons. Unfortunately, we can't shift time, and the time difference is still a botheration, especially between Japan and the west coast of the United States. However, our students don't need much sleep, it seems, and Red Bull and the coffee bean industry has been quite good to us. So we have a lot of sleepless students here who are going to give you their last efforts. So please give them your full attention, and without further ado, I would like to introduce on our side, I'm just seeing if they're ready, Wayne. Yes, everybody, this is Wayne. This is what Wayne looks like. And Devin. So these are two master's students from KMD who are going to be running the demo session today with Shizuka, who's going to be coming over, who's going to be doing some live editing. So please give them your attention, and they're going to be working with the fabulous people at UCSD. So please give them a round of applause, and I'll lead the scene. Thank you.
Afternoon. Good afternoon. So my name is Devin. I'm a first-year graduate student at Keio University, and I would just like to kind of give a brief introduction about how we started the whole process. Of course, as Tracy said before, we had talks earlier, or I guess in the end of last year in December during SeneGrid in San Diego, and we did want to kind of continue the collaborative efforts, but we kind of decided to take a different direction. You know, Anissa already had her project on the recovery efforts surrounding 311, and so we wanted to kind of have a discussion. Just, you know, it's a collaborative effort. We should all decide and kind of be on the same page about where we wanted to go. So in the beginning, we used different kinds of compressed and uncompressed HD video conferencing systems. You know, we used Polycom. There were a few times when we couldn't connect correctly, and we did go through Skype. But in the end, the thing that really helped us out to have really good communication and overcome the time differences were the different kinds of social media sites that we employed. From my side, I'd like to introduce the Google group that we used. I had it saved up here on an earlier session, but this is kind of the general gist of the Google group we had. It went mainly through email, but there was a page for it, so we could kind of have it at our fingertips. It came to our phone. We would constantly be in touch through different kinds of emails, and even though we were separated, it would feel almost instant, the kind of way that we could continue communication and speaking about what kind of direction we wanted to take the film. In the end, we decided, after discussing about border issues, the situation of foreigners, it all kind of related to a general theme that revolves around displacement of people. And so that was the direction we decided to go. And so I think I'll pass it over to Nick on the KMD side to explain more about the different kind of social media sites that we use.
All right, thanks. Yeah, in addition to the Google Groups, we were able to utilize, you know, well-known, well-used, familiar stuff like YouTube to not only show each other like what we were working on with interviews, but also like this clip here. But we could also upload our actual meetings. So if any person on either side missed a meeting, they were able to go to YouTube, you know, even from a mobile device, and keep up with what was going on. In addition to that, we kept a lot of our notes and a lot of important details under the Google Sites, which I believe Todd is controlling.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have just a lot of technical details under this that keep us both on the same page. In addition to that, we use Facebook, which William will talk about.
Yeah, and just to show you guys a few more things that we utilized, Flickr was an awesome way to archive and just keep track of all the different photos that we took with all the different cameras. And we did actually put a few up on the back wall that you could take a look at on now or on your way out that showed some of the different sessions. And additionally, a big player was the Facebook group, just because we could throw up ideas all the time and put different influences or things that we thought were interesting. And we could all immediately comment on them or just give our feedback. And this was a big player in helping us deal with the time difference, since we could all go on whenever we had the time.
And so, thank you, Glenn. Once we had kind of established our platforms that we'd use to communicate and try and be able to have that instant collaboration, we needed to kind of decide what equipment we'd use and technical aspects, kind of get those down. Because working in different countries, Japan and the United States, normally it'd be very difficult to get kind of a similar look and feel to all the videos. But thanks to the high democratization of camera equipment, we were able to use similar equipment. We ended up sticking with the Canon T2i, T3i, and 7D, or the 550 and the 600D respectively. And then just basic audio equipment using shotguns and lavaliers to get clean audio, because we did interiors and exterior interviews and B-roll. So thanks to these platforms, we were able to kind of figure out to get a similar look and feel for the videos. But then we also had to decide on kind of a style we wanted to imprint our piece with. And so Wayne will talk about that a little bit more.
Right, the Facebook page was a very helpful tool in order to be able to share videos. You could share videos, interviews, things like that, so we can take notes. And it's really easy to post your comments underneath the videos, so you can talk about what aspects of the style you were interested in, or you found to be appealing. So we were kind of able to narrow down a style. In the end, though, we found it was kind of difficult to. There's a lot of us over here, we were real new with the equipment too, and so we ended up just having to shoot a whole lot of footage in general. And then through sharing, we were able to sort of define our style a little bit more. And also on the Facebook page, we were able to share things like the music that Alex kind of created, so we got a feel for the kind of music that he was able to produce. And but the big thing that we were able to do is work with Sage and VRoom, and we're able to share videos at high quality and to get a good look at the style and things like that. So I believe that you guys have a really nice video over there, the light-headed video.
Yes, we do.
I think, why don't you try to send that to us?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we can show how that works. So right now Nick is sending us a video,
Should be good.
and you can see how quickly it pops up on our side, and we're able to look at it in high quality and take notes, and it's just it's super useful. So.
How long is this video?
This is a high definition clip that's about a minute and a half, so it's not too long, but as you saw, it was almost instant transfer.
Yeah, almost instantaneous transmission.
Right, so you can see how quickly the video can stream and get across to our side through the gigabyte pipeline.
And of course, with one video clip, this is amazing, the speed and just being able to see it. When you combine this with multiple clips and multiple different angle shots that we've taken, it becomes so easy to have such an interactive storyboard that both sides can share right on the spot. So I think Monica and Nick are going to, I'm sorry, Monica and Josh are waiting over there, and we're gonna.
Yeah, thank you.
Or we can go.
Yeah, so we're just going to talk about more kind of how we use the CineSage system to kind of aid us in our collaborative efforts. So obviously with this, the giant screen, the 4x8, it makes it really easy to view multiple videos side by side, which is something we normally wouldn't be able to do. So being able to compare them side by side in full quality, 1080p, is very beneficial, especially if you have a big group of students. It's kind of a pain in the ass to be huddled around one tiny computer. So this was very helpful in that respect.
We were also able to view them instantaneously, so we would be talking to them while viewing the clips at the same time, and this was really important, especially technically, since we were both shooting from different countries. We were able to compare the looks of each piece and go off of that.
That's right. But unfortunately, you know, at home, not all of us are fortunate enough to have this amazing setup that you all are seeing in front of you right now. So that's why it became really important for us to have a place to house the clips. Over here on the KMD side, we have a cloud server. It was initially set up for the growing documentary with the Tohoku disaster footage, where people and artists were able to put up their photos and videos of you know, the affected area, and be able to use it for the growing documentary. So for our project, we were able to set up a new sort of file system up there that we all have access to, and we were able to upload our footage there to view. And originally, well, since it's such high quality footage, we found that the best way to do it was to compress the footage and then upload all the footage. So everyone has access, everyone can download it. It's pretty moderately sized files. So then once we got into the editing process, then we were able to edit using the compressed footage. And once we had a rough edit, we could look at the files that we did not have in high quality and request those particular segments to be uploaded to the cloud server. Made it very, very useful and helpful to create our edits. So.
And we were able to save a bunch of space that we would have used otherwise.
And a bunch of time, because those uncompressed files are rather large.
Yeah, and sorry to interrupt, but just wanted to draw everyone's attention. This desktop is actually being shared from KO, and so this is the actual cloud server that we have all the files uploaded to, so this is straight from him.
That's right. So I think what we're going to do from here is actually go into a little storyboarding exercise on the wall to your right. We're going to look at this and
so,
make some changes.
Yeah, if everyone can draw their attention up to the top line here. So once we had kind of collected some video assets, we have a bunch of different interviews and B-rolls here. But this top line here would be kind of how we'd go through the rough cutting process and kind of putting together a basic storyboard so we can kind of get a better idea of how things are going to look before we take it a little bit further. So look, we have a little space here, and so can you guys send us a couple clips? Yeah, maybe it looks like we're missing Pablo. If you guys have a clip of Pablo, and then maybe some B-roll too, that'd be really great.
Yeah, I see you guys have a close-up face shot, so we'll send you a medium body shot.
Yeah, we have a medium shot of that. And we also have some B-roll as well. We're sending you the medium shot of Pablo right now. Yeah, good.
Okay, we got the medium
and we're
shot.
We're going to send you a B-roll. Maybe you can find a place to put that in there too.
Whoa. So generally, that would add to the line there. But maybe we can bring up some of this other footage here to kind of fill the space. Let's kind of rebuild this a little bit here. Did you guys send us the B-roll there? Oh yeah, I see it. Okay.
We did. Did you guys get it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there it is.
Cool. Yeah. So I mean, we lost a few shots, but this is basically how to do it. They'd be able to send us footage instantly, and we can kind of put it in. Maybe review it to kind of get a better idea of how it looks side by side.
And of course, we can connect our pointer over to the Sage. So if we don't like how you put things, we can change
what
it.
are you guys? What's that? I see little arrows kind of floating around. Who's Ota? I don't know who that is.
Ota Sensei.
Yeah, they like kind of just putting a little mouse and messing with our stuff. Messing up our hard work. But anyway, so we basically kind of use this to do our storyboarding and get a general idea of what the final piece is going to look like. But obviously, straight out of the camera, the images are not quite so fine-tuned, so we need to do a little color grading. And I believe KMD's going to talk. No, Nick is going to do a little color grading for us. That's right.
Thank you, Josh. I'm opening these clips now. Bottom. Alright. Oh, I'm stuck. So, thank you for Anyway, so what we've got here is we're going to use the wall to do side-by-side comparisons of color. So we're able to use this system not only to review content that we record, but also to take a look at aesthetics and visual choices we can make with that content. So right now, we can get the wall working. We have 4 different clips with different color grading. So what I want to do is send those to them.
Just send that one to them.
Yeah, we got more coming up, so that's good.
Here we go.
Yeah, send them on over if you can. And we'll take a look at them. I mean, we can see them pretty well right there, but if we can get them up on our screen,
Okay.
then we'll be able to get a better look at them and in high quality.
So I'll send you a few over now. As you can see, this takes a little finesse.
There it is.
So you should
We
have
got the first one. There we go. And so we're able to look at the different color gradings over here, different files. And then once we decide on something that we like, or if we want to go in and fine tune it, what we can do is we can actually share a Premiere session, an editing session with each other. And I believe that we have an editing session maybe up on your wall somewhere over there, and we can go in and you can see examples of how we are able to color correct together, or just look at the file and make changes together.
And you can see what we've done towards the end of the clip session is we mirrored the way that the clips were in the storyboard. We had everything kind of in the same order, and we can go through the shared desktop to make sure that everything is as we wanted it to be.
That's right. So we've been working really hard on this this project of both sides, and it's going to be a continuing process. We've been our editor over here, Shizu-chan. She has been working and not sleeping at all for the past 3 days.
I think this is her 5th edit of just the
5th edit. Yeah.
Thank you, Shizu.
Thank you.
We've been busting it out, and we've been interviewing lots and lots of people. I think on our end, how many people have we interviewed? Maybe like 5 or 6 so far.
And of course, we've had the wonderful cooperation of that side.
Right.
Yes, I believe we have 3 or 4, and we have another one coming up this
3 or
not
4,
this
another
Sunday,
one
next
coming.
Sunday.
And so we're just spending lots of time, and hopefully we'll be getting a nice story. So we have prepared a teaser trailer of.
And we've only had about 4 weeks to kind of create this whole thing, and we're definitely excited to share it with you, and we hope that you all appreciate.
Yes, we appreciate the extra effort on the end at your guys' part, because we are still in the middle classes, kind of going down to the end of finals, so we're hoping to pick up the editing a little bit and pick up the flight on our side.
That's not true. I mean, we're all really busy. And,
Don't be modest now, Wayne.
Oh, false modesty will get us nowhere, I suppose, right? Yeah. So we're looking forward to getting us back in and doing some more sessions, and hopefully we'll be able to continue making a really awesome production together.
I think on our end, it's been a really great benefit for us being undergrad students and working with the graduate students, because even in the process, they helped us a lot technically, because we're a little bit newer to the medium of visual arts. I don't have as much experience, so doing the interviews and kind of having questions about technical aspects and shooting styles and techniques, we're able to go to them, use them as a resource to kind of give us information and make our footage a lot better. And we've been continuously getting better with each interview. So it's been really great to work with you guys. We appreciate it.
Well, likewise, we feel the same way.
And so without any more ado, I guess we'll cut right to the trailer. So I hope you all enjoy, and thanks.
experiences?
First moving to Germany, then coming to Edinburgh in Scotland, and then coming here to San Diego.
Like, just Japanese people. They're lovely, I love them, but
Japanese people, they don't want to touch their nose like that.
Because it's insane. So.
I was told that no, you can't use the A10 at this time.
displacement.
Exactly, yeah.
American style というか
Philippines.
Good experience.
And I like it even more now.
I like it here.
Welcome back. Thank you. How was it? So we're going to go to questions now. Oh yeah, and we forgot to mention that the trailer you just saw was streamed live from Japan.
Hey, John. Hi, Jeff. Hey, hello, everyone. So we're going to open up the Q&A session, so just feel free to ask questions, and we'll try to do our best to answer them. Or we will lie and make it sound like we know what we're saying.
So I have a question. What was your metadata approach? Did you share metadata like you shared media?
Let me ask the technical crew. How did we share the metadata? What did we do for managing the metadata? On the cloud, or yeah, with the UCSD side, or how did KMD UCSD manage the metadata? Is what Jeff Weekly from the Naval Postgraduate Academy is asking you. You forgot to introduce yourself, Jeff. So, any
I'm not really sure if we put very much emphasis on the metadata yet, but of course, you know, we've talked about it a little bit, but that's kind of on the back burner right now, I think, given that we didn't have as much time to.
Jeff, if I can just jump in. This, even though what we did was the trailer of displacement that you saw today is what the students have made so far. I think Tracy mentioned Tracy and I and Ota Sensei and a few people started this effort on January 31st, passed it to the master students and the undergrads over there who did a great job, but they're not done with it. They're still going to continue, right guys? Okay, don't make me look silly. And they're going to continue, and I think we do have somebody on our team now who just joined us a few months ago who's also very interested in metadata, so I think we're going to try to do more with that and see what kind of layers we can reach in. We will definitely be in contact with you about that.
No.
So thank you. Everybody, Jeff Weekly, Naval Postgraduate Academy.
Any other questions from anyone in the audience? Any questions here? Comments?
Yeah, I have a question.
Laura has a question. Hold on one second.
Jeff, what was the hardest part of the collaboration? What was the most difficult part, and what was the easiest part?
Well, in my opinion, one of the hardest things to do was to get a reliable group together because I think Tracy mentioned, but we're doing this on our own time. This isn't for a class. So, you know, there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of data to manage. And
we started with 30 people.
Yeah.
And now there's like 5 of us.
So, I mean, technically, I think everything went really well. I don't think it was technical. It was more just finding the people, finding the interviewees. What do you think?
Yeah, like Nick said, it's very time intensive, especially it's something added onto our schedule, but it is a great opportunity for us, and to work with the graduate students. So we do really appreciate that. And I think that is the best thing. The best thing about it, it's like the hardest, but the best is getting that opportunity to work with students that we normally wouldn't be able to work with.
I worked a lot with finding the interviewees, and I think it was really hard to find like a wide demographic because we are stuck in this bubble of a university world, and getting ourselves out there and meeting people who are willing to share their stories, especially in front of a camera, was really difficult for us.
Yeah, I would have to say, if, for our end, in my opinion, the data management was probably one of the most difficult things to do, because we had to source all that information online. We had to keep it organized. You know, it's a lot of data because you have to upload it and download it. We had compressed file versions and then the full uncompressed footage. Not to mention having to talk with each other and coordinate which files we wanted. It was quite challenging in my opinion.
Are you saying we're hard to work with?
Not at all.
I think that the biggest difficulty we faced was managing the workflow in this kind of new environment, especially since there were so many time differences. And so it's not just planning one meeting, you have to take into account the conditions of the other side. If you're cutting too much into their private space, since they are doing it extracurricularly, you know, you don't want to ask too much and be realistic, but try and manage to get something together in less than a month's time. So I think managing that aspect was a bit of a challenge, but working with the people on both sides was such a pleasure that, you know, it was great.
And also, I think there are 17-hour time difference between San Diego and Tokyo, so it's not easy for us to be awake at the same time. It's so difficult to communicate, but I think we did very well, and we will do better.
So, yeah, this is Larry Smyer. I had a question. I love the way that you have integrated the shared internet-based social media sites, Flickr and Facebook and YouTube and all the others, with some of the most advanced, high-end, not just visualization, but 10 gigabit optical networks, unshared, and so forth. Now, you could have done a lot of this with just the social media. And in fact, you have the video clips in YouTube, and you have conversations like you showed and so forth. So tell me what doing it in the room and with the 4K and the HD integrated systems, which is very high-end stuff. How did that let you do things that, either in terms of speed, efficiency, lots of images at the same time, whatever? What features did the high-end bring to the low-end so that the combination of the two is greater than just using one or the other?
I think, as we saw over on the big wall over there, that just watching the clips on YouTube, they're kind of anchored in one space. And so you take the clip for what it is, you see the kind of direction that the content and the color, and it kind of stops there. But as we've seen before, when you have the clips that they're so easy to work with and just change the order, just play them at the same time and compare them in real time, the storyboarding just happens in a way that we think couldn't happen on the low end, such as YouTube. Even if you downloaded them and kind of shared them through Skype's screen share session, we wouldn't be able to move them around as we do on connect a computer on our side and have a pointer over on their side and just change things instantly. And I think that aspect is really what pioneered our collaborative efforts.
Right, and then just be able to have a large number of people in a room to be able to view the clips at high quality. I mean, that in itself, I think, is amazing. You don't have to crowd around a computer screen where you won't be able to see the image nearly as large as it is capable of being.
And if I can jump in, I think one of the other challenges and makes us work harder is that we know the quality of the footage has to be better visually, and also that makes us want to make a better story, because as much as this is CSCW, Computer Support Collaborative Work, I think it seems to be a means to an end. A lot of the work that's gone on in the field is a means to an end. How can we have meetings? But we know there's more creative and social, as a social enterprise, as a creative enterprise. So that's one of the things, I guess, on a research or meta level too, that we're trying to push. Tracy, I used meta.
There's a question back here.
I was just going to say, I think on our side, it also, because we were in the big room, we felt like we were all sitting in a room together, and we really made these personal relationships that we couldn't have done over Facebook or other social networking sites. Like, I feel like I have friends in Japan, but it's weird that I haven't actually met them in person and shaken their hand. So it's been like a really good benefit for us, especially as graduating seniors, that we've built this network of people, and they feel like our friends.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a really great point.
Oh, thanks, Wayne.
We have one more question over here.
Yeah, my name's Ricky here, and I just have, maybe I can interrupt Larry's question just a little bit. The alternative way to do this would be for everybody to have iMovie on their Macs and do the basic editing that way, and get together on video conferences or teleconferences and talk it over. So instead of thinking just about the benefits, suppose you had to do that. You would have to do it that way. Will we have seen anything like the trailer we saw today, or how much longer would it have taken you to produce that trailer? Any guesses?
I think you hit it on the head with the time. You know, we might have something close to the content that we had today, maybe 2 months from now. But being able to just share it in live sessions, like as we demonstrated before, really cut down on the time it took. There was only, I mean, if we only say 5 edits of the trailer, but we could upload it and share it immediately instead of having to wait for kind of people to share it separately on their own computers, kind of take it into account, get together, and then collaborate, find out what they want, what they don't want. We just kind of cut out all the middle step and went straight to the group collaboration, which was really the best point of using the Sage system for this collaborative effort.
So the answer then, it was about 1 month here, and so you cut it down basically from 3 to 1. That's about a 2/3 saving, right? Would that be your estimate?
Yes, and I think if we were doing this kind of as a job where there's money involved, I think saving the extra 2 months would be really appreciated.
So I have a question, not for the students, but for the teachers. And so, Ota Sensei, you come back on screen, and Tracy, could you grab a microphone up there? And so, what I'd like to ask from the teacher's perspective is, how is this for educating your students, or allowing your students to learn, you know, not that you taught them, but that they learned? How was this as an educational environment? Did it help? Did it get in the way? What was different from, you know, normal?
Definitely, this opportunity trained the student very much, because kind of mixture or combination of design and technology. So most of students here are not good at technology at all. But they have to learn how to use media, how to use computer, how to use this kind of the interfaces. Then they learn a lot, I believe. So even Janak. So they learned a lot. So this is my point of view.
Yes.
Okay, Tracy?
Tracy?
I'm not going to be as cutting, but I'd have to say that actually, I mean, I teach digital cinema, and we cover the range from practices that happen on YouTube all the way up to 4K and everything in between. But it's one thing to sit in a classroom and show a set of PowerPoint presentations, as opposed to actually bringing some of those students into an environment like this and exposing them firsthand. You know what 4K is now, yes. You know what Ruby is. So I actually think, and this is potentially, you know, this is the future of digital cinema. So why not let the future sort of producers of digital cinema have access to the facilities now?
I'd like to maybe add just one small part of that, sort of praising both the professors and the students and their patience. This space that you're seeing is really a very, very dynamic space. We're constantly changing things, and everything that you're seeing is more or less new or new-ish. and this wall wasn't here a couple weeks ago, and that 4K wasn't here a couple weeks ago, and that 4K wasn't here a couple weeks ago. So every single day, new pieces of this giant collaborative puzzle were added, and the students had to be very, very flexible and dynamic as new elements were sort of layered on to this whole collaborative environment. More question. Hold on, I got a mic for you. We're videotaping. You want to capture it?
It's a short question. Would you all just take a second and tell us what your majors are?
We're actually all art majors. We study visual. We study visual arts media, but we all have different emphasis. I'm a digital production emphasis.
Same, yeah, video and digital production.
Yeah, I'm a video emphasis.
I'm also video.
But we're missing one very important person who hasn't actually come on screen at all over on the KNB side. Could Shirai-san please enter the screen? Very important collaborator over there.
Here.
There we go.
Actually, he is a godfather of the growing documentary. At the meeting, yeah, he came up with the growing documentary as the name of the project. So, Mr. Godfather.
And what are the people's majors at the KNB?
Yeah, I'd like to comment one thing. So, actually, I set up the network environment and also, I set up almost all the network environment and also the 4K collaboration environment. But the important thing is not technology, so how to use it, so how to utilize the technology. So the important thing is the students of the UC3 and the students of KNB understood it was as a kind of black box, but they know what capability that the equipment has, and then they know how to use it, how to utilize, and they collaborated with their environment and equipment. So it was a big achievement, and then so I think on this workshop the many people involved in the networking, but so now these students utilize such high bandwidth network. So I think it's a kind of the future of the network utilization. So let's think how to proceed from this, and then how to collaborate with how can I say, the content creation people and the networking people. Thank you.
So Shirai-san, will you please also just tell us what your major is, and then ask everyone else there to please tell you.
Major.
PhD studies. PhD studies in
media design.
Okay, that's fair. Everybody else.
No answer. There's no answer. Actually, Todd, everybody here is media design, which exactly we don't know what it is either. So I think that's part of getting the degree is figuring out what it is, and then if you can make up a good answer, they give you the degree. So we're still working on that.
Yeah, also from our side, I know like a few of us changed majors because we had opportunities from Cal IT2 and Circa. Like Ryan was pre-med, William was mechanical engineering, I was engineering, and we all switched because we saw the opportunities that were in here, that we could direct our passions for filmmaking and also utilize those skills as well.
So if we don't have any more questions, we should probably wrap up. One last thing that I was going to mention, that this is an ongoing, growing documentary, and we're hoping that everyone here and at Keio University will continue to evolve the process beyond this demo into the next couple of quarters.
We have a documentary to produce by June.
Yes, there is a documentary to produce. You've seen the trailer. Hopefully you'll be back, maybe for Cinegrid or on Vector next year to see the full feature.
So
Also, before we go, sorry, Lauren, you'll see the screen populating with people right now. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that you don't see. Just to give you an idea, I've been at KMD. This is gonna go into my 4th year, Jesus. And originally, Ota Sensei, myself, and another student who graduated were like the 3 people only here, and it's become this somehow. And he's like the most popular guy at KMD right now, if not at Hiyoshi Station, which is quite a big thing. So just want to show you all the people behind the scenes who have made this possible. So if you can give them a round of applause. If somebody could take a picture and then send it to us, that'd be great.
Can we get a picture with all of these students also next to the wall, please?
You guys go down there.
Down, this way down, guys. Don't hurt yourself.
Tracy, you too. I'll take the
Tracy and Todd. Okay, come on, Todd. All right, we have no one to
Kitamura-san. We need to thank Kitamura-san here. He's been a huge help on our side. And Luke Renenball also is coming down from EBL, who's also been huge help with Sage.
Okay, taking pictures now. Okay, pictures. Everybody snap.
Excellent. I don't know where to look.
Just look dazed.
It's sort of like the red carpet, think of it that way. I don't know where to look.
All right. Okay.
Everyone got it?
All right. So I would like to say thank you to everyone. I certainly want to thank the folks at KMD. Terrific show. The folks here at UCSD. Really, the effort showed. Right. I want to say that this was an experiment in remote collaboration. And we're throwing students at the technology, not only because they're eager, but because they'll break it in very instructive ways. Right? And they'll also show us new ways to use it that maybe the designers didn't think of initially. And you know, this came out of Cinegrid, and one of the goals of Cinegrid in the mission statement, and now Hisa is one of the founders, and we have a lot of Cinegrid people helping here, is to educate and train the next generation of digital media professionals. And this is a good example of learning by doing. And so I want to thank you all, and otsukare-sama deshita.
Oh, we were going to say it! We've been working for this entire time on this one word we learned from our collaborators.
Okay.
So everyone together. Otsukare-sama desu! Even native Japanese.
I didn't know. They didn't tell me. All right. So that is the end of today's program. Tomorrow at OnVector, we'll be back in this room for yet another demonstration, linking this facility with the Electronic Visualization Lab in Chicago. And also, completely, this is a virtual reconfigurable room. And tomorrow afternoon, we have the cultural heritage presentation over on the big screen. So thank you all very much. There's a bus out front, just where it dropped you off this morning, to go back to the La Jolla Shores Hotel, where dinner is served in 5 minutes. Thank you. Ota Sensei, domo domo domo.
Bye, everyone.